All right.
You ready?
We're ready. Now
Let's
we're
get
live.
it.
When
Live.
I said all right, it went live.
Oh, live? Okay.
I determined that's the starting point.
Live.
Welcome to the We Are One podcast. What's good, everybody? I'm Justin, and today we got back. I think you're the guest that's been on the podcast the most. This is your third time on the show. What's up, Wesley?
Is it third?
Brother Wesley, what's good?
Pretty good. Not much. Pretty good.
Welcome back to the show, dog. It's your first time being on video, so
is it?
yeah. So
What's up?
What's up, YouTube?
YouTubers.
Welcome to the show, Brother Wesley. Today we are going to get into So Wesley had put together a presentation around the topic of mental health, and we just sat down in person for that presentation and discussion around that around that presentation. What was that, like 10 days ago? It was like the 14th. Yep, November 14th. So yeah, just like 9 days ago. It was really dope to see Wesley up there discussing this, and I figured we could sit down and use the presentation as some talking points for conversation and discussion rooted in mental health. So tell me a little bit before we get into this. How did this come up, and what made you want to do a presentation about mental health in the way that you did?
Oh, based off this year, I know those of you watching this has been a hard year for everyone. This has been a hard year for everyone. And so I just felt like this is an essential point in time this year to discuss this. And this is also our last presentation that I was doing for the remainder of the year. So I wanted to kind of leave it with like something that'll be able to help people. And also this is based off of personal experiences. And I just enjoy talking about mental health. And also, we don't talk about depression and mental health in men a lot of times, especially men of color. So that's another reason.
Tell us a little bit more about the discussions you've been hosting, just real quick. I think we might have talked about it before, but what platform is that you were able to present this on? What is that?
Yeah, it's so the segments we do is titled Let's Talk. And it's a group of us, 3 of us, and we just each month we have different topics, different segments that we talk and discuss about, and it can be encouragement, educational, seminar, workshop, and we usually have it in the Twin Cities. If you're in the Twin Cities area, that's Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. But it's also nationwide and international via Zoom, and eventually spread out across different cities and things like that, bringing this format across there as well. But it's just different topics around community, around really anything. So
how many have you successfully hosted that?
What is this? I think this is the probably like this 5th one.
Okay. Nice. Well, let's get into this presentation. It's about a 25 slide presentation. There's going to be a couple that we'll have to skip because they have like videos included or something like that. We're not going to show those on the YouTube, but I'll throw them in the show notes. Some of the videos that you picked for the topics that they were portraying were really good. 2 of them made me cry when we were sitting there in the room just because they were intense and deep and I was
crying putting this together a lot of times.
yeah. I mean, it's very real. So, let's just get started. Let's just get right into it. What is this?
All right, man. So this is this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're looking at the presentation slide. This is
unfortunately not actually.
No,
they're not.
Oh, skip that. Don't mind that. So yeah, this is part is talking about just kind of like what is mental health and depression. And I broke this up into different segments, 3 segments actually. So this is the first segment.
Wait, pause. Sorry, really quick. What I'll do actually is, if you're comfortable, we'll make this Google Slides public, and we'll throw this in the show notes. So if people do want to follow along with the presentation, the actual presentation that's online for you to look at, that Wes put together, you can follow along while we talk about it.
Cool. All right. So yeah, So with this, initially I wanted people to kind of get like the feel. Many of us know what mental illness and depression is, but we can also just kind of have like a definition, like clinical term. So I just broke this down like depression, also called clinical depression or depressive disorder, is a mood disorder that causes distressing symptoms that affect how you feel, think, and handle daily activities. Now, these depression affects everything from your sleeping, eating, or working, as you know. But the key part is this, clinically, to be diagnosed with depression, your symptoms must be present most of the day, nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. So that's kind of a key part, because a lot of people kind of wonder if they're actually really depressed, maybe, and they might have just been having like a rough day, or
they might just be sad.
Yeah, that's what it is, just a sad day or tired or something like that. But to be clinically depressed, like officially, #officially depressed, you have to be at least 2 weeks of kind of like low mood and kind of like this disorder that affects your day-to-day activities. And with mental illness, we'll also be discussing about that. That's also called mental health disorders, and that refers to a wide range of mental health conditions that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. And then, so there's some different kind of physical and mental effects that depression and mental illness plays. And if you're battling with depression or mental illness, or if you had it, you know what these symptoms are: just headaches, stomach issues. You can't really sleep as you. The thing about it is that you feel tired and sleepy, but it's like you can't really sleep, and it's like you just feel drained all the time. And that's because your energy is really low, and it might actually be an illusion. You feel tired and stuff, but you maybe really not tired. And then heart palpitations. And I know for me, when I was dealing with depression and stuff, my heart would feel just kind of like sunk, and I would feel like flutters in my heart and stuff like that. Like it's like a heartache. I mean, people think that's kind of like a made up, but that's really how your heart feels. It's like a heartache. And your heart just feels like super sad. And then you got some other symptoms include just tense shoulders, so tense muscles, sensory overloads, restless legs, cramps, and then memory problems, long-term memory, long-term kind of maybe long-term social skills or things like that. And then just a quick fact for you guys out there. Did you know heart attacks are more frequent in the morning and more severe than overnight heart attacks? So a question I want to ask you guys, you listeners and viewers, why would that be? Why would there be more people having heart attacks in the morning and that are more severe than overnight heart attacks?
Hit pause, think about it.
All right, we're back. So if you could leave your comment, or if you thought about that question, what I came across is that the reason these are more frequent in the morning is because people are going to work. That's a big issue. People are waking up and they're doing something that they hate, that they don't like doing, that they're doing just because society is telling them to do it, or going against what they want to do, and they're really stressed out about their mornings. And also, a lot of people, when they wake up, they don't really like just pause and take a deep breath in the morning. People, they wake up and it's like, bam, right out the bed. Oh, let me take a 2-minute shower real quick. Oh, let me stuff my mouth with food and energy drinks. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me do this.
One thing I've heard recently, and I keep reminding myself of it, because personally, I've dealt with like depression and anxiety. Mostly, though, what I deal with is like an overwhelming anxiety, just about a variety of things. And one thing I've tried to do recently, because I heard it multiple times repeated, is like first thing in the morning when you get up, check in with yourself before you check in with the rest of the world, before you check on your pets, before you look at Twitter or Facebook, before you even talk to your spouse. Give yourself a minute, 2 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, whatever it is, just to check in with yourself. How are you feeling going into the day? Maybe make a declaration going into the day, because I know for me, it's not necessarily mornings that I get like this anxiety or this stress, but it's specifically Monday mornings. when I know, because Sundays I take the day off and I just chill and I try not to do any work at all. And it's really nice and like relieving to take those Sundays where I know, like, going into Sunday, like, I don't have to set any expectations for myself going into today. Today is specifically just to chill with my girl, recalibrate, kind of ground myself in reality. So when Monday comes around, though, that's when it's like I just get smacked in the face with some of that stress and some of that anxiety, because Sunday I took a little break from it. And then going into Monday, it's like, oh yeah,
right. And so
the world still exists. Like, I still got to deal with all this shit, right?
Justin, you think weekends are too short? Or do you think we should have longer rest? Like you said, Sunday's your rest day, your like mindful day or something. You think you should have more of that, or more of a longer stretch of weekend? And like,
I think if anything, the problem is probably more so that me personally, I guess, I expect too much of myself. I put too much pressure on myself. It's not that I need more time to rest or more time to work. I think, like, let me just be clear. I support having high expectations of oneself and a large workload and like grinding, right? I support that. But it's sometimes it's like, if I don't get something done, it sends me into a spiral of like anxiety or sadness or just like disappointment. And so if anything, I don't think I need more rest. I just need to not be so hard on myself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
One of the other things on this too that stood out to me was like the way that mental health issues, depression, anxiety, whatever it is, can manifest themselves physically, like Wes talked about, should be talked about more, because
definitely
in a lot of ways we, like, the society we live in right now, we get a symptom that pops up, we go to the doctor, we get a pill to take care of the symptom, and then it's for a lot of people, not so much recently, but I know there's still a lot of it happening. It seems to be more so like the boomer generation. I put quotes around boomer because it can almost be taken derogatively, but nah, just that generation, the baby.
What you mean?
The baby boomer generation. It seems like let's go put a Band-Aid over our problems, right? And without taking into regard or considering the fact that like our mental health plays a role in our physical health. Our physical health plays a role in our mental health, and that even goes back to the last conversation we had on the podcast when we were talking about like the three pillars of experience, right? Like your physical vessel, your mental vessel, and your spiritual one, right? You got to take care of all three, and physical health and mental health go absolutely hand in hand. Sometimes if your body's not recovering after, so let's say you're working out and you realize your body's not recovering adequately, but you also are experiencing some like bad anxiety when you're trying to go to sleep. I'm saying this from personal experience. I've experienced this myself. Right. And then I wake up the next day and I'm like sore as shit. And it's harder to get that cycle going back in like that positive direction, because it's a snowball effect into the negative, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sore, I'm anxious, so I can't sleep. I wake up more sore, but I have to work out, because for even now, like, if I don't work out personally, my mental health is typically not in a very good place. It's like it's a relief for me. It's almost an addiction. It's literally an addiction, but it's like one addiction that I've channeled positively. Mm-hmm. And if I don't get it, then things are fucked up for me mentally. But what I was saying is it can be a spiral that can happen in so many more ways than just that situation. But yeah, any thoughts before we go to the next one?
No, get affirmations. Like that's what Justin said too. When you wake up, because like a lot of us, man, I do it too sometimes. Like, actually, I'm gonna go back, because when I'm asleep, I got this crazy dog, and he keeps me up pretty much most nights, and we got to do something about that. But he'll jump back up, like, because he sleeps on my bed, and he'll just get up, jump on and off the bed all night, be acting. I mean, I've never seen a dog that drinks as much water as him. He act like he's just dying of thirst every single night. So he'll be drinking for like a minute straight, like hard gulping, multiple times a night. I'm like, man, what is he doing? So I'm like restless at night. And I'm like, bro, dude, y'all know you ain't that thirsty, man. I mean, you act like you've been walking in the Sahara Desert for like 40 days or something. But
he's drinking a gallon in an hour or something.
Yeah, it's like crazy. And then so he's that kind of, so like I'll just say external stuff can kind of cause restlessness too, which can bring on different things, anxiety. And you wake up and it's like that first moment when you wake up, that kind of determines the rest of your day. Mm-hmm. So it's like I wake up, I'm still kind of tired. Then I turn over, check my phone. I might see a news article or something that's like
with
depressive.
a negative connotation, because a lot of our news is like fear instilling, like negative. Because negativity and violence and destruction, we know, is what gets the most engagement. These media companies need to be making $1, so they make money on engagement, so they put out shit that's going to get it more engagement. And what happens to get more engagement is negativity. So checking your phone first thing in the morning, not a good idea.
Not a good idea. I don't recommend it. Also, I need to fix this too, but I watch murder shows at night usually before I go to bed. And there's this it's like a it's like a Twitter, what do you call like a Twitter username or like a Twitter page,
like a Twitter handle?
Yeah, it's like a Twitter, it's like Crime Watch.
The Minneapolis Crime Watch page.
You follow that too?
Yeah, that when I was on my doom scroll fucking kick, that was one of the pages I was checking every day. It was what crime is happening in Minneapolis? What things should I be worried about? Blah, blah, blah.
For real, I still be, ever since like all this stuff happened this year, I've been like almost like fascinated with that. So I just been like keeping stuff and then like keeping up to date with that. And I mean, that adds on like subconscious stress or whatever you want to call it. But
that kind of follows you throughout the day. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you set the tone for the day. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's go to this next slide. We got a lot of slides to try and get through.
All right, so we're going to talk about types of depression. Some of you guys may have heard it. Persistent depressive, as it states in its name, this depression persists. It's not as strong as a major depression that just hits you and like you're just out of it. It's kind of like a subtle, more kind of like a quiet, but it lasts longer. And this can last anything from years to months, however long. And it's still good. All right. And so it lasts longer, and a lot of us experience this type of depression, persistent depressive or dysthymia. And because it's like, okay, we're not like super depressed and we're not battling like this heavy depression, a lot of weight on our shoulders, but each and every day or most days we still feel like worn out. We still feel some of the symptoms that I mentioned or we mentioned. And we still feel kind of like low, and we're wondering like, what is this? And in many cases, this is persistent depressive, and a lot of us, to be real, probably have this. And so the next one is postpartum. This usually occurs after pregnancy, childbirth, with either a few months or maybe like the first year or so. And this is more like a hormonal change. Also, men can get this too. But it's more frequent, of course, in women and things like that. And the big reason for this is this can cause like a relationship issue between the child and the mother or the parents because of this depression. And this can also, like, when somebody has a kid, this is a big change in their life, and this is a big it's significant, but a lot of people can't handle that, especially young parents or people don't know how to be parents yet or anything like that. I mean, parenting don't come with a handbook, but this can really affect people's mood and psychological behavior. Next, we have psychotic. Psychotic just means like different like mood swings and things like that. As it states in the name, a lot of us know what psychotic is. Next one is seasonal affective disorder. This is like your mood swings and shifts based off of like seasonal effects. This can be weather. If you're in the north, like we are, Minnesota or Wisconsin area, Maine, Canada, Europe, we know how the winter plays a role, how the snow persists, and we can go into like a winter depression, seasonal depression. And this year we're probably all experiencing COVID-19 depression. So this is mainly like external. also like planetary systems and alignments affect like mood swings, and the moon affects how our well-being
Talking
is
about
too.
astrology, bro.
Astrology, bro.
In what ways does the planet alignment affect mood?
So like right now, I'm not a for real astrologer yet, but I know like I think it's Jupiter and Saturn that are lined up right now or something.
Yeah, and they have been all year.
Yeah, so
you can see them every single night. Jupiter and Saturn are right next to each other.
Yeah, so that alignment right there between Jupiter and Saturn, or any planets that are close together, it's kind of like sometimes like the mythology aspect kind of refers it to like they're in battle, and so that their battle state or whatever, or relationship affects what's happening on the Earth, thus affecting like our moods and our psychological, our actions, even to a certain degree.
I can't say that personally. I feel like too confident in the impact of like astrology, right?
Right.
But I definitely am fascinated by just the stars and astrology itself. And this summer was the first summer I was like pretty sure you could see Venus at one point this summer. You've been able to see Mars all year long. You've been able to see Saturn and Jupiter all year long. And at one point I was thinking, like, have you always been able to see the planets like this clearly, or is this am I just realizing it, or like what? You know? So I've been wondering.
Yeah. But even with like just a quick little thing, even with just like looking at the sun, some people sun gaze and things like that, that can just help your mood, decalcify your pineal gland. And just kind of lighten up your day, because when we see the sun and stuff out, it makes us feel better for the most part.
One thing that stands out to me is that I've been saying when I'm looking at the planets is I'll be like soaking up the intergalactic energy. You know, like if I can see Mars, that means the light from Mars is reaching me, and I can absorb it. I don't know what that means, but that's just like pretty crazy to me to think like that light, however far away that is, if I can see it, my body is absorbing it. Yeah. So maybe there's some like unknown elements in that. You know how like we get like vitamin D from like UV and sunlight.
Get that Mars D,
that Mars bar. Get that Mars bar, bro. I gotta get my my Martian nutrients, dog. Someday I'm gonna bottle that up and sell it, because it's gonna be like the fountain of youth. So at the bottom of this slide, though, there's a couple of resources that Wes was able to put together. That's what I'm writing down here right now, so I can throw it in the show notes. You want to tell us what the resources are?
Yeah.
You don't have to read the numbers. Just tell us like what they are.
So first one is National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's the main national one if you're in the United States. And if you're in local area like Minnesota, each state has their own. They got their own number. There's also Crisis Text Line. If you prefer to text, that's available free 24/7. The Trevor Project, and also Minnesota Farm and Rural Helpline. So if you're out in the country, you can hit that line up.
Do you know anyone that's used one of these resources?
Really not personally. I've seen like I might have been like on a page or like social media or something, and people have been like on National Suicide Prevention or something, like Crisis Text Line. I've heard of the Trevor Project, but I've never met anyone personally.
Because I'm only curious, because I personally haven't met anyone that I know of that has actually taken advantage of any of these resources either. But they're there. I mean, and I'm sure they stay busy. I'm sure they get calls. I'm sure they get texts. I would be fascinated to see what number of people actually use these resources and stuff. I'd be very curious to see. But shit, I mean, there's probably been times I could have called, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. I've tried to kill myself in the past. Like I could have probably taken advantage of that and been talked out of what I try to do.
And so whoever works there they're doing a good deed,
and hopefully they're getting some healing shit.
Yeah,
because that's a lot to
take in
and bear on your own personal shoulders of someone else's crisis.
Yeah.
Here we got some statistics.
All right, so what's the date today? The 23rd?
Yep,
23rd. Okay. So November 19th was International Men's Day. And the reason I bring this out is because, as I said in the beginning, mental health and depression isn't really talked about as much for men. And the reason is because 76% of suicides are men, 85% of homeless are men, 70% of homicide victims are men, 40% of domestic abuse victims are men. Men are the majority victims of violent crime. Men on average serve 64% longer in prison. And men on average are 3.4 times more likely to be in prison than women when both committed the same crime. So those are just some statistics.
Do you remember what this video was?
That was the Gridiron Gang.
You want to just talk us through the clip?
Yeah, so I had a video. It was like a metaphor, symbology for like dealing with depression or mental illness or your own personal battles. So if you guys seen the movie Gridiron Gang, really good sports movie about which starred The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Exhibit, Pimp My Ride. If you remember those days.
Yep. My mom used to be obsessed with Exhibit. That man is so fine. Mom, get out of here.
Yeah, they're both in the movie, and it's a true story, just based off of a coach that wanted to, like, he was bringing in like youth and stuff that was either incarcerated or was headed down the wrong path, and started like a football club, and some of them went to college, had scholarships. I think a couple made it to the NFL. I'm not sure, but it was just based off of that. So they were doing a drill. The Rock was the coach, and then he came out in his football uniform, and he was challenging the star running back, whose name was Willie Weathers, to come and tackle him because Willie Weathers was scared to get hit. And so he set the two, like the bunker pads on each of the side. And he said, "You better run into me, Willie Weathers, or people gonna think you're pretty much like you're a chump bitch. Or something." Like he said. Say it one more time.
Wes doesn't swear, so I'll say it for him. They gonna think that you a bitch, Willie Weathers.
Exactly. So Willie Weathers is like, "Oh man, you ain't gonna be talking to me." Pretty much like, "You ain't gonna be talking to me like this." And so he did it a couple times, and then every time he would run into The Rock, he would just get hit and pushed down. And then finally, like, The Rock just talked him up and said, there's nothing you can do. You got to deal with this on your own. You can't get your gun. You can't look for help. You can't leave this or whatever. You got to just face me. And so he eventually built up the confidence and ran over The Rock. And everybody was cheering and things like that. And the reason I use this video was because we're kind of like people that's battling obstacles or mental health or anything like that. We're like the running back that's we just keep getting pushed down, but eventually we can run through whatever that's holding us back. And we got to believe in ourselves and know that we can overcome and achieve what we need to do.
Find that. I'm gonna throw that YouTube link in the show notes. So if you want to hit pause when we get to this point and go watch, I encourage it.
So the next thing we can do this.
Let's just talk through the activity.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk through the activity. So we did an activity following the video. It was just like had people on a piece of paper write down any obstacles, regrets, negativity, anything that's holding them back. And once we wrote down things, I just told them to rip it up. And that's what you got to do. Just rip it up, man. Rip it. Or and fight. Just don't get consumed with your obstacles, your negativity, or anything like this. You gotta push through it. And just know that you can get through anything that you're going through.
What things would you personally have written down?
I probably say self-doubt. Let me see, self-doubt, maybe impatience. Loneliness probably. And that's probably the main ones. Severe loneliness. and self-doubt, discouragement. I think that's for me.
I think I'd put self-doubt, insecurity, impatience is a good one that I didn't think of before. Anxiety.
Yeah,
but that goes hand in hand with insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like
yeah,
uncertainty.
Right. So you can try it if you're listening or watching. You can actually try this activity. Just write on a note card or piece of paper what's really holding you, or you feel like you need to just keeping you down.
And it's actually a fun exercise. When you had us write it down, I was thinking like, all right, write this down. I'm thinking like you just wanted to see what people were feeling or whatever, and then you're like, all right, rip it up. I was like, oh, bet. That sounds kind of... So, yeah. I get it.
I was going to bring a lighter and burn, but I was like, no, I don't want to start a fire. So you can do what you want.
And at Anika's place.
Yeah.
We burned it down on accident.
What happened?
In this, too, is a clip of The Rock sharing his story with depression. He's got a quote on here. I found that with depression, one of the most important things that you can realize is that you're not alone. I like that. So we're jumping into segment 2.
Segment 2, dos. What are some of the underlying causes of mental health? So what causes mental health?
Wait. So what causes like mental health issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Negative talk. Now, all of us know what negative talk is. This can come from others, which create negative talk for ourselves. And like I always say, people the negativity can come to you, but it doesn't have to like go through you. And a lot of this is just self-hate, doubt, letting others get to you, bringing you down, and disturbing thoughts. And disturbing thoughts, this can turn to like crazy stuff, paranoia, hallucination, all types of stuff. So that's just stay positive. Like I say, wake up in the morning, create an affirmations list. Tell yourself, I am capable. I am this. Bring positivity, because you got to realize our bodies is made of like 75% water or something, and water holds memory. It's like a storage memory card. And so and this is scientifically proven too, if you if you fill a cup of water if you fill a glass with water, and you speak positive to it, and you look under a microscope, it's like just perfectly like symmetric shapes and like designs. But if you have that same water, you start cussing it out and speaking negative to it, it starts looking like asymmetric and kind of like maybe ugly designs or something like that.
Which sounds crazy.
Yeah,
I've never seen like this proven or anything. I almost want to look it up and be like,
I got a book for you too.
But I just encourage people to look it up themselves. I'm not saying personally that it's true because I haven't read it, but it sounds fascinating. Intuitively, it sounds like it's something that probably has been proven, because you can look at the way plants are impacted by speech and vibrations, right? Is if you are affirming the confidence in a plant and telling it's beautiful and it can grow prosperously and all this and that, it's going to be a healthier plant.
Yeah. You should go around the streets and just give people compliments.
I do that already.
See how they you do that already?
Hey, I get compliments all the time. I love giving compliment to a stranger. Yeah. One time, I had this guy recently like, you know what you should try, young man? You should try just giving a stranger a compliment. Just try it once a day. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But I didn't want to be like, I do that. But I do that. And it's actually, it might be a selfish thing. Because actually, personally, I get like, whoo, like I get excited about it. And like people's response, it's you catch people in like this brief like moment of super like genuineness of them just being like, huh, hey, thanks, like, and then you just get like a glimpse of like happiness, right? It's like, it's almost like that feeling when you see like a beautiful girl that just like sucks your attention away for a second. You're like, damn, that's almost like kind of breathtaking. I get that feeling sometimes when I tell someone like, yo, man, that shirt is fire. Like, I didn't know anyone else fucked with MF Doom out here, or some shit like that. And then they're like, dude, like, bro, let me tell you, I got this shirt at Soundset. I love this shirt. I work out in it all the time. blah 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 or whatever, right? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There's also a clip on the negative talk one, but we'll just let you go click on it real quick. I'll label each one and what slide they're from so you can see the negative talk YouTube link. Click, watch it yourself.
All right, next cause is dysfunctional missing family unit. And I said this is, to me, probably the most like the core, the root of mental health and depression, at least for my experience and like just from I observe. Everybody's different. And this is anything from chaos in the household, parents not around, abused, neglected as a child or growing up, and ultimately all these things. It's just a repeated, continuous cycle. And so if you're 10, 11 years old and you got 6 siblings and your parents ain't around, you got to take care of them, and you doing all this running around chasing after them, babysitting baby kids and all. I mean, you can't even be a kid, man. And it's like you lose that childhood like purity and stuff. You got to grow up so fast, and then you just start becoming more of an adult, and you haven't reached that mental state yet to do all that extra stuff. And then parents not around, we know how that affects us. We can have a stepdad or something like that maybe come in later, but it's like, at least from what I feel, like your biological parents, it's like you want to build a special bond with them. I mean, you can love your step parents and they can be your parent too, but it's also like a lot of people, they want their biological parents to be somewhat in their life and present. And a lot of times some parents, they just don't care. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to be about nothing. And that's causes severe mental health and depression within kids. Also abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, neglected, orphans and stuff like that. This is all ties into missing family unit or whatever like that.
Now, me personally, I feel like a lot of the mental health issues that I personally deal with today or have dealt with in the past stem from this topic specifically. Chaos in the household, parents not around. I wouldn't say I would. It's hard to say like, oh, I was abused, but
yeah, that's kind of like personal, like, because some people might like feel like they were like had to go in their room, like locked in their room all day. That's like in a form of like abuse or something. And some people say, oh, like that's not bad. I was like being like punched around and going to school with black eyes and stuff. So I think but emotional and spiritual abuse, like I even have thought of like individual abuse where like you have parents that don't allow you to be yourself. Like there's probably a term for that. I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point too.
But there's definitely a lot of different forms that abuse can take. So
that can be a whole nother like segment or topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely could. There is a YouTube link for the dysfunctional / missing family unit slide also. Going to the next.
All right. Comparison, blaming others. Now, this is big for the social media age because we see a lot of stuff on IG, whatever. People doing stuff like, man, there's like, shoot, in Thailand right now, or they're in South America doing all this fun stuff, and I'm sitting here just living a basic, ordinary life, and what's wrong with me? Why am I not prospering and stuff like that? And it's like a comparison issue right there. Blaming, or you can either blame others for why you're not in this position you're in, and you can blame your family, you can blame friends, you can blame society, whoever, and it's really up to us what we want to do. This stuff just affects self-esteem, creates an illusion, because a lot of these people on social media, going back to that, a lot of them ain't living that lavish life like we think they are. And a lot of them actually be having like green screens in the back, acting like they're on like a nice yacht or plane or something like that when they're really not. And some of them kind of like do angles or different shadow like light features to make them like enhance their features or beauty features. But when you see them in person, you're like, dude, bro, or sis, You didn't look like that. You didn't look like that.
Shotty gets like the big eyelashes and the big round eyes, and they like smooth the skin, and they're like, damn, well, that is not what you look like. Don't get me wrong, like Shotty could look good as fuck in person, but she's faking it online,
right?
And don't get me wrong either, because it's not just females that are doing this. It's just a lot of people who they have like a alternate persona. I maybe fall into this category too. I guess I don't know. I don't see myself from that outside view to really compare my IRL self to my online self, IRL in real life self to my online self. But a lot of people are just like living in, like I said, in alternate persona of themselves online. Like it's not their authentic self.
Right. And that's a big thing, cause nobody, from what I seen when I was on social media, nobody's gonna sit there and post usually like the worst things of their life. Typically, I mean, you got people that say like, "Oh, my dog died" or "My aunt died" or something like that. But most of the time, people ain't gonna sit there and like post, "Hey, bro, I'm sitting on the toilet right now." Oh, like my car flow.
That's funny you just said that, because the other day I was thinking, I thought of this tweet and I never tweeted it, but it was just like a funny tweet I was gonna put out. It was like, I'll say it here, but I never actually tweeted it. But it was like, damn, my stomach was fucked up for 3 days and I just took a big ass shit. I feel way better. And then the tweet in the thread was going to be like, elect politicians that are honest with you or something. Like, not that I'm trying to be a politician. It was just like some funny shit to put out online, because like people aren't talking about that type of thing on the internet typically,
real,
right?
Yeah.
Like
it's being real.
Yeah.
But that's and all this stuff, it just drive yourself crazy, man, because you're competing. You're trying to be like, we got our own path and our own way of going about things. And like I said in the live presentation, I was like, some people they get their stuff like right away, man. They can be like young or super young, a kid or whatever. And some people, theirs might be coming in like later, while the other people's, their stuff is starting to like kind of dwindle down and drag out. So it's just kind of like, just follow your own path, man. And don't live in the shadow of others. Unless you guys are helping each other, like cooperating. But this stuff will have you reckless, man.
Also, a YouTube link on this one. So hit pause real quick. Just go watch that video. I'm telling you though, if you've skipped the videos up to this point, like the videos match the conversation like almost perfectly. Like I said before, a couple of them made me tear up even just because it was like so real for what we were talking about. It's worth taking most of them are only like 2 or 3 minute clips. So take the 2 or 3 minutes in addition to go watch these clips along with this conversation. It's definitely worth it. I'm trying to make it easy on you by putting it in the show notes. So just scroll down the little thing, hit the thing, and just watch it. All right, just watch it, and then like and subscribe while you're at it,
and hit that notification bell.
Okay.
All right. This is a hidden one. Guess what it could be? Religion. And this is a big one too, because a lot of people this is like a double-edged sword. Religion or spirituality or whatever, it can work against you and it can work for you. So you have to direct it and make sure you're doing what you feel you need to do. And I say this based off of experience and based off of just other people's experience as well. Because a lot of times you might be being taken advantage of because you're supposed to be a righteous person. And a lot of times you're going against your own conscience. You can be like, you can be radical about your religion or faith. You can be put in a cult, a group, or you can just be like, you know what? I'm so spiritual, man. I'm going to live this hippie life. I'm going to forget everything in the world, bro. I'm going to ride the waves, be totally gnarly, totally rad. Drink coconut water every day, live on the beach and surf it up. Because I'm on that spiritual vibes, man. I'm on that peace. And like I said, I say with religion, it's each to his own, but neglection, if you're not careful with that, like the whole renouncing the world and materialism, this stuff can like put you like in a homeless state. Because to be honest, that's what happened with me. I was in the radical, kind of like borderline radical / neglecting thing, and I was like, you know what, man, I want to live like a monk, which I still do, but it's like I'm gonna just go out, man, like leave the country and like not tell anybody. I'm gonna just depend on God, man, just God's will, the divine, and He's gonna just lead me, man. I'm gonna just be going out here like telling people about God and stuff like that. And I got to where I was gonna be, and man, I was like up, I was fasting, I was praying and stuff. But I'm like, I was sleeping underneath a coconut tree, right on the side, like it was like a street, and I was like underneath like the little bridge part, like on the overlooking the beach. And I'm like, God, man, if you're real, like you need to let me know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing or not. Cause it's like, am I listening? And that's the other thing too with this. It's like, am I listening to my own voice? Like, is this just imaginary, or is this actually like another force, or like my greater self, like talking to me? And that's a fine line too. And it's like, and I started like blaspheming. I was like, man, like God, you did all this stuff from what I've read and just did what people told me. Like you, like doing all these miracles and stuff for other people. It's like, go do this for me, so I know I have evidence and stuff that this is you. And so I was like, I think I had some water. I had some like, of course, coconut. I had some coconut water, empty coconut water container. I was like, and I put it in the like the ocean. I was like, well, turn this sea salt water into fresh water. And so I would do that a few times. I was like, this still tastes like salt water. I'm like, what the heck? And I was just like, God, show me like what I'm supposed to be doing. And I was like trying to walk on water, do all this type of crazy stuff. And I was like, man, what the heck am I doing? And I was like, maybe I should just go back where I pretty much go back home. And I was like, I don't have anything. I just had like some books, a little like my backpack, like one of those backpackers wear, and just the clothes and a little shofar, like a ram's horn. And I was like, man, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I don't have any money to go back. I'm like stuck on this island. Island was Puerto Rico. Really nice place, by the way. But I was on an island, and I was just looking up at like the coconut trees and stuff, and people were walking by, and I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing, man. Like people walking by, they see like this dude out here like laying underneath a tree and stuff, and there was like a hotel too, so people come out and play basketball and stuff. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. And then I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go. So the next morning, I just walked like a few miles to the airport. And I got to the airport, and they were like, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get a ticket, for a one-way ticket back to Minneapolis. And then they were like, oh, your car's been declined. I'm like, for real? I'm stuck here? And so I was like, I was like, well, what ticket can I get today? And they're like, you have one, you can go to Orlando, Florida, and that leaves in a few hours. So I was like, I'll just take that, man, because that's my only way of getting back to like the states, the continental
United States.
Yeah. And so to loosen up some like weight and some extra luggage, I literally threw most of the stuff I had away, like my what did I throw away? I threw away my ram's horn. I threw away, I think, I don't know if I threw away some clothes or not, but what
was the horn for?
That was for like, it's just like a spiritual horn, like they use it back like, I guess, well, it's just like spiritual horn and stuff. It's to like blow, like signify either like a battle or like kind of like an alarm. So It's kind of like a Israel, like Middle Eastern type of horn.
Okay.
And so I threw that away. And I lost my phone too on my way to in the shuttle going back to the airport. So I'm like, dang, I ain't got no connect. I don't have a phone.
Damn.
I don't have no money. Trying to follow after God, and so on my way to Orlando, I was sitting in the airport waiting for a flight, and I was preparing myself to be homeless. I'm like, I'm about to be homeless. And so I was like, I'm about to go here and just have to figure it out. And like, I was thinking what I should do. I was like, man, should I just pursue, pursue acting or something while I'm out there or whatever? But I'm like, I don't know. But the main thing I was just sitting there with like a little box of fries, because I had like, I think like $4 left or something. I'm like, man, I'm about to be homeless. And so I was like just planning for that, and then I got on the plane, got to Orlando, and then I was like, okay, so now this airport is kind of far away, because most airports are like far away from the city and stuff. It's like, so how the heck am I gonna get out of this airport? And so I just hopped on the bus, and I told the bus driver, I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't have any money and stuff to pay for the bus fare. He's like, oh, that's fine, you can just get on. And so I was like, oh, thank you. And then I just took the bus all the way downtown Orlando, and from there I was just wandering. I guess that's all I did, was just wandering.
So you still follow God though?
Yeah, but I had to change. Like I said, now I'm more like, I'm not in that radical sense, like just going out there and just winging it. Mm-hmm. I still follow
What
God.
did you learn through that? Did you, like, in the radical stage of you trying to follow your faith, was it like, because to me, just to put myself in your shoes during that experience, I feel like what I might get out of it is like, oh, I'm not all that important. There's 7-8 billion people on the earth. Like, why would God pay attention to me when I'm begging for him to pay attention to me? That's what I think I would have gotten out of it. But I want to hear.
What I got out of it was character building. I think it also was like almost kind of like a self-inflicting punishment too, and because I blasphemed, pretty much I was like blaspheming against the Most High, and I felt like within one day I was brought to my lowest point to realize like what you doing. So to me it was kind of like a punishment / like building character and stuff like that. But I mean, there was some good things that come out. I met a really good friend, and this can be saved for another time. But I met a really good friend and things like that. I was in the process of writing a book, but I didn't have a printer, so it's still there. And the idea with this book is that I'm not gonna like put it, like try to promote it or put it into like a bookstore like Barnes and Noble. I just want to give it to like homeless people and like share the experience, because this experience is like, I think it could be like felt with anybody that's experienced like homelessness and stuff like that. And so,
sounds like some secret knowledge type shit.
No,
like it's just like a hand-me-down book, word of mouth. Like if I gave it to you, or if you got an invite to this party, that's the only way you're gonna know about the party, because the first rule of attending the party is not to talk about the party.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it was quite interesting, man. I slept in parks, and I was sleeping in like on the street and things, but that, like I said, I'll get, that's a whole nother story.
It's fascinating to hear you talk about like your experience with like homelessness, because I mean, I personally have been driven to homelessness too, but it was a result of my addiction. But also like through me being driven to homelessness was me like finding the foundation of my own spiritual journey. Right, that was like where it kicked off personally for me. I had definitely neglected the topic leading up to that point, but I had recognized that I needed to fulfill that part of just myself as an individual, and that was just having faith in something. Not, and so I don't even classify myself as like a religious type or a Christian or
like
whatever.
A missionary or something.
I have faith in something larger than myself, and I try to just run with it. You know, I'm adding shit. I'm taking shit away. You know, like right now I don't eat pork, but who knows? Someday I might eat pork again. I'm just like kind of seeing what's best for me.
Yeah. And that's the part I'm kind of at right now. It's like, cause I've been studying like just different books and stuff like that. And it's like I need more than just reading like a book, man. And it's like I want to get like truth directly, and so that's kind of where I'm at too. So. I mean,
for me, it's most important, I think, to understand from other people's perspectives the way that they experience religion, or the way they experience like the teachings of religion. Yeah. Because like with just a book, I might read it and comprehend the book one way, but that maybe isn't the way that it was meant.
Right. Exactly.
Someone else might see it differently. Neither of us might see it.
Yeah. We might read one verse or something. We
might see two totally different things, and neither of them might miss the mark of the intention of the reading or the writing, but we can still have a conversation rooted in that text, and you know.
Right.
But yeah. All right, let's move on from religion. You got any closing thoughts?
No, we can keep going.
Okay. We still got a lot left.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to speed it up. All right, social media. This is like I said, probably one of the biggest ones also dealing with this time and things like that, because as I said, explained before, start comparing ourselves, and people start like talking negatively about people, family arguments, Facebook fights, whatever, on social media. And it's but I think the biggest thing for me, and like I said, I'm not anti social media. I don't have social media for personal reasons, but this is basically for people that are like over consuming and like social media addicts. And it's just,
which, let's be real, is a lot of us people, right? I say us because it's me sometimes too. It's a lot of people.
But why do you think so many people are social media addicts? Just out of boredom?
Probably in part out of boredom. Also, if you're the anxious type, you might somehow look forward to any type of negative news, which we call now doom scrolling. Like you think you're expecting something bad to happen, so you're online looking for it. Oftentimes the best place to find it is on social media. If you want to read about some drama, or you want to read about some explosion in Bangladesh or whatever it is, that's a good outlet for it. Also, we have an issue in our society of like comparing ourselves to others, and social media is like the easiest place to do that, because you just jump on, you get a quick glimpse of a picture on Instagram or a post on Facebook, and you can judge it, and you can just be like, I can't believe she would wear that in an I can't believe they would put this outdated filter on an Instagram post, shit like that. Like, It's the easiest outlet for like comparing ourselves to others or judging other people. There's a lot of people who like to judge people because they can't withstand like their own image that they hold of themselves. So, like, let me talk shit about somebody else to feel better about me. There's I don't know. There's a lot of reasons.
Especially like if you're like in it's like a community too, like whether it's like a photography community, modeling. You probably know something like that too. People be getting into like a model community on Facebook or whatever, be getting into it, and different photographers. Oh, I don't talk to him anymore because he says something. He commented on one of my posts and said don't take any more photos or something with him. And so it's just, you get caught up in all that drama and gossip and things like that.
And most of it's petty.
Right. It's just little stuff. It's like, dude.
And not to mention like Facebook in particular, like the algorithm is kind of gaming our emotions by keeping us sucked in based on basically everything that I just said. But Facebook will show you the things that it knows that you have an emotional response to, because they know that if you have an emotional response to something either positive or negative, even though it's more oftentimes negative than not, you're going to keep coming back to the platform.
Right.
So that's like
not even talk about the cheating aspect, sneakiness.
Wait, say it again. What'd you say?
No, like just relationships, like somebody like catch your person cheating on social media, or somebody like, because I know for me, when I was in a relationship and I go on my girl's picture and I see the same dude liking her stuff, and I'm like, who's this dude? Who's this dude? Oh, it's not like that. And I found it's like one of her old friends. Like, I don't know. Like, it ain't like that.
Because a lot of times, like, just throwing out a like is just out of, like...
Yeah, you just kind of scrolling and be like, oh, that's a nice... Like, yeah.
Or, I mean, a lot of times it'll just be like, oh, Wesley posted. Like, I don't even care what it is. I just know that he's a homie and he's got my support. Yeah. Unless I read it and it's some crazy shit you're talking about, like, fucking a 12-year-old. I'm like, bro, I'll put down Instagram, give you a call, be like, nigga, the fuck is going through your mind right now? Are you okay? How can I help you?
Right.
But... otherwise, I might just like hit like on anything that. Yeah.
But yeah.
Read me some of these stats.
All right, shoot. All right, so the average U.S. adult spends 31 minutes per day on Facebook. 16 to 24-year-olds spend a median of 3 hours a day on social media. Internet users spend an average of 2 hours and 22 minutes per day on social networks last year. So it's just going saying like how the social media consumption is increasing. More people are getting on it and more people are spending time on it. There's been times, man, like when I was in high school and stuff, I used to go out with friends. They'd be like, hey, bro, you want to go out to like whatever, B-dubs or something like that? Sure, bro. And then like I'll go out. And it'd be like 6 of us. Everybody be on their phones, texting or on Twitter or something like that. It's like, dude, I came here to spend time with you, like with the bros and stuff. I didn't come here to be like.
There's studies at this point in time that show when the phone isn't present on the table or whatever, say you're out to eat, and if people, okay, for one, having your phone on the table just ruins the quality of conversation and connection. Mm-hmm. One easy way to improve it, though, if for some reason you think you need to have the phone on the table, is just turn the phone upside down. That has been like shown to actually improve people's perception of the social interaction. They walk away rating their experience higher quality if the phones are turned upside down. But the best thing you can do is put it in your pocket, put it on silent, or leave it in your car. Because if you're there to interact with people, you probably aren't going to need your phone unless you're like me, who is constantly having to look up stats and like facts and like things for the conversation. They'll be like, we'll ponder something, and this is like my go-to. I think I said this on the podcast before, but I'll just be like, I'm looking it up, and then I'll just go to my phone real quick.
Because you're using it for like more like a business type of thing too, or it's like, I don't say business, but like productive as well.
I try to be productive with it, and but I also have like a real clear understanding that it ruins the quality of the conversations that I'm having with people, and I want to have one, productive interactions with people, two, substantive, not just productive but substantive, we each get something out of it, but three, like meaningful, and like we actually like connect, and it's not just that. Oh, like we're together. Let's take an Instagram story. Getting dinner, getting drinks. But we're not even talking. We're just sitting on our phone. Like that shit's silly.
Yeah.
Did you see this? Like cool. Show me memes and videos. That shit's funny, and it's funny to talk about and whatnot. But like, if that is 90% of our interaction in this restaurant, like I'm probably not getting dinner with you
for real
again. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Should we go to the next?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Segment 3, how to feel better. Techniques and strategies to help you be an overcomer. All right, so some therapy and counseling, self-explanatory. We just have some.
Do you go to therapy?
No.
Have you recently?
No.
No? Why not?
I don't know. I don't think therapy really for me. I mean, I'll try, but like, to me, I don't think people can really talk to me about it, because I know it. To me, it's just kind of common sense for me. I know what can be done and stuff like that. It's really just personal things and laziness.
To me, what's important about therapy isn't necessarily what I get from the therapist. It's what I allow to put out. Right. And so, like, I haven't gone to therapy since like the beginning of the pandemic, because to me, like, the telehealth, like counseling shit, just like like going to my therapist over Zoom, just not gonna work for me. Not happening. Yeah, I would rather come to your office and know that this space is specifically to be open and honest and let things off my chest and ponder things and ask questions and whatever. Because for therapy, for me, what I get the most out of it is just being open, having a space I know, like I can say just about anything that I want, except for my plot to kill Wesley. But I'm just kidding. But
jump out this window
but I can go there and say pretty much anything that I want, because that's just a necessary thing to have, is somewhere to be 100% open and honest, because without that openness and that honesty and that authenticity and whatever, just from my experience, just creates more and more anxiety.
So you think it's better for you to talk to like a stranger or somebody you know?
I mean, I think it's more impactful to talk to somebody that you know, because they also know you, and then there's someone that like you're gonna see more so on a regular basis, right? That like, oh, like I told Wesley that I'm gay, and so at least if anybody in my life knows that I'm gay, at least Wesley knows, right? Like, I'm not gay, not that it matters if I was. That was just the example I was thinking of. But if I was open with you about it and I saw you every day going to school, then I would feel a little bit safer going to school every day. So I think it's more impactful to tell someone that you see on a regular basis and that's actually in your life, a friend or whatever. But I think it's more impactful for that, but it's also impactful just to be open in any environment at all.
Yeah, that's a good point right there.
You feel me? So
you dig? All right, so this is for you right here. You mentioned this like right at the beginning. Fitness. gains, baby. Making all types of gains. Striations. But so yeah, I mean benefits of exercise.
So I used to be addicted to heroin.
Yeah.
And I've gotten addicted to the gym since I got off heroin, and recently I'm kind of like getting addicted to the gym again. But like literally the addiction is like the mood altering chemicals that like occur in my brain at the peak of a workout, and then the feeling I have like post workout.
Post workout.
It's like literally a high.
Yeah.
Like I'm high. Like I'm high. That's just
right.
I feel elevated. I feel kind of lucid and loopy. Like fitness.
You be skipping in the gym.
Oh,
with like doing.
Yeah, I do some funny shit in the gym sometimes. I'm just feeling good. I'm just like rocking. Like I put headphones in. I'm just in my own world. Like a lot of times the people that are around in the gym just like fall off the peripheral, and I'm just like there with me, myself, checking in on my body, my strength, making things hurt intentionally. It's like personally, it's like I'm enforcing adversity on myself, you know, and I think adversity is important. It just makes us stronger, gives you stronger mental fortitude, and if I'm putting it on myself, then I know, you know, what to expect, and I can make it end when I want to, but I can also like not only grow stronger from it physically but also mentally.
Yeah, that sums everything up. I mean, I know for me it's the same type of way too. Do you do any like martial arts, like fighting too?
No, not really. I wrestled in high school. I've done, you know, a few classes here and there, but I do like to shadow box a lot, just in like my own time. But I'm not like professionally trained or anything, which I would like to be, because that I got a lot out of wrestling when I was in high school, and since I have some like grappling experience, I want to get into more striking experience, probably with some like Muay Thai, kickboxing type thing, because my kicks are on fucking point.
I know. I seen that. Like, what'd you do? Like a windmill butterfly kick? And
I don't know what it's called, but the shit would knock you out. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know that for sure. But don't get kicked by me. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, why'd you ask?
Probably just the boxing gloves, but I could see you like doing like some like boxing or something like Muay Thai, and just like channeling that energy to like. I mean, I definitely have. I think you'll be cold at it.
Well, I have like a mean, like aggressive side to me.
Because I can see that like you can channel that or something.
And I've had to channel it because I'm not a mean person, but like.
You could turn to the Hulk.
I can
if you
be,
need to.
and I don't like it. I don't, you know. But I need if I have somewhere to put it, then it's then I don't have to worry about it's boiling over into my life and my relationships and whatnot. Unfortunately, we gotta almost start wrapping it up just because I have another show coming up. By the way, if you're on YouTube, my bad. The video keeps cutting out because I'm trying new methods of adding video to the thing, so you'll get some points in between. I'm saying this so late. I should have said this way earlier. But if it's cutting out, if the video's cutting out, it'll be back. I'll put something in the meantime. It might be the We Are One logo. It might be the thumbnail. Who knows? Moving on, we only got a few minutes left.
So these are gonna be really quick. Another thing is medication, herbal remedies, non-attachment. You can look more into that with the non-attachment.
I like this quote.
Buddha says the root of suffering is attachment. Other words like idolizing a lot of stuff, money, chasing money. It can be women, men, whatever. So that's just attachment. Good thing is to go out and socialize, man. Make new friends, join meetup groups, try something new. Hobbies. I like to roller skate. That's one of my favorite hobbies. Unfortunately, the skating rink is closed for a month at least, which is pretty sad. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for that. But
hit the streets, dog. Why don't you start ice skating?
Oh, that's a good. Well, they're probably gonna be closed too. But I do ice skate in the winter.
You can find a lake, dog.
Like out there? Yeah, little hockey rink or something.
Yeah, they make them all over the place.
Yeah, you right.
We in Minnesota, dog.
Right.
We're in the hockey capital. There's ice skating rinks.
10,000 ice skating rinks.
Right. True.
Got that.
So yeah, hobbies.
Faith, spiritual, different therapy groups, counseling, spiritual advisors, praying. Breathe, simple. mindful breathing. Breathe in the morning, breathe at night. Just breathe, man. Look up at the clouds, breathe. Look down at the grass, breathe. You hear that? You feel that breath.
I do that all the time. I take deep breaths constantly. There's been times, one of the things I like to do post-workout is like sauna, or like do like a cold shower or a cold plunge. Excuse me, I need my inhaler. Just wheezing like crazy. One of the things I like to do though is that cold plunge or the sauna. And I've had times post-workout when I'm in either the sauna or the cold shower, either one, but they're both extreme, so they kind of trigger this response. But I'll like not exactly like that. I get a little bit
like
deeper. I get a little bit deeper with the diaphragm and let out as much as I can. But I've literally tripped doing that before in the sauna, like psychedelic, had a hallucinogenic experience just from working out and then breathing. Seems kind of crazy.
Yeah. But
it feels amazing, and it's taken me somewhere that I've only otherwise gotten from drugs, 5-MeO DMT or mushrooms in particular. But I've also gotten through simply just breathing and exposing my body to extreme hot or cold temperature.
Because those chemicals they're in you, like, naturally.
They're endogenous.
Yeah.
I almost said androgynous. That's not the right word. Endogenous. All right.
So that's it. David Goggins, I'll just read this real quick. 10 rules. Number 1, make you a new you. 2, get in charge of your brain. Develop discipline. Do the impossible. Sorry about that. Face the real you. Be a good individual first. Do the things you don't like. Get real with yourself. Take on challenges and stay hard.
Stay hard, motherfucker. That's
a good way to end it.
That's a great way to end it. Thanks for tuning in for this episode, this podcast with Brother Wesley. I enjoy this conversation a lot. I think it's important to talk about. Hopefully we planted the seeds for a few things that, I mean, personally I find important. I know Wesley finds important because he felt the need to include it in his presentation. I don't know. I just encourage authenticity, being yourself, being open with yourself and the people around you. Not only being open, but being open about, not only being open about yourself, but like being open about your reality. Like, there's no reason to put out a false flex on Instagram, bro. Like, people see right through that shit. I know that's not a real Gucci belt because I know your ass can't afford it, right? And if you can, then you got your priorities fucked up, bro. Like, what's wrong with that Walmart belt? It does the same function, you know? But that might just be my personality too. Like, no judgment cast. Like, I might just not enjoy that type of thing. You might get personal enjoyment out of those things. Yeah. I personally don't, so it's tough for me to understand, but I'm telling you, I am trying to understand, and I really hope that that is an expression of your authentic self, your genuine self, your individual identity, because you know what? I love you, and all the people that I love, I just want them to be themselves.
That's all I ever want.
That's all I ever want. Just be yourself. Okay. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the We Are One podcast. Joined again by Brother Wesley. I appreciate you, brother. We gotta keep. We say it every time, but we gotta do more. I like talking to you, bro.
You too, bro.
It's fun, broski.
Bro, man.
Will you say bitch for me once?
Blake.
Can't even get him to do it. Blitz. Bro, it's just
one day.
It's just a female dog, bro. Just say it. Just.
You might hear some scuffling or something.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Peace and love. Got another episode tonight with CJ Halliburton from CJ TV, independent media persona. It's going to be a great conversation. The only reason I'm telling you now is because I'm excited. Peace out.